Ivan Vincent. I am a student at Conestoga College Dune campus at the CICE program, Community Integration through Cooperative Education with Community-Based Learning. I am doing field placement at the Extended Family KW Library Tool Things. Today we will be working on bicycle maintenance.
Change out the oil. Sometimes if you have a wheel off your bike, and this is also really important if you're like changing somebody's flat and they happen to have hydraulics, or helping somebody do that, that you don't squeeze the brake lever when the wheel is out of the bike. If you squeeze the bike lever when the wheel is out of the bike, you can lose the fluid, and if you lose the fluid in your brakes, when you have hydraulics, you need to talk about it a little bit, and that's fine. I've done it. We all do it. You'll do it eventually, probably, and that's just a bummer, but fixable. Yeah. So when you're working on disc brakes or any brake, this is applicable to both things. You just kind of. I always start by just spinning the wheel. And you're all welcome to come and look. And I like to look down from the back. I like to look down to see, is this router, this metal part, is it going in a straight line? Is it doing this? Is it rubbing? Can I hear it? Oh, I invite folks to come closer to and be comfortable with that and actually look down in there. And you can do it on the front too, Trish, if you want. If you spin that, then you're gonna look, you can kind of turn this actually, it might be a little bit easier to see from down there. Does anybody hear anything other than the cog?
I hear the.
Pardon?
I hear the. Click, 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 click.
Mm-hmm, but if you put your head real close.
Dragging or anything?
Yeah.
I hear a little tinny tap tap.
Okay.
Do you hear that when you ride?
Sometimes I hear something
yeah.
funky. Yep.
Yeah.
Put your headphones.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then when you look, sometimes it can be nice to hold like a little piece of paper behind. So if you want to do this, I know. Oh, sorry, you're busy making a film.
Yeah.
Does somebody want to hold the paper and look at what we're talking about? So if you put the piece of paper behind here, and then you look, and then you look right through here, you'll be able to see the router. So you actually want this under here. Okay. Do you see how the router is moving back and forth now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it'll happen, and if it's not rubbing, it's not a big deal, whatever. But if the person's complaining of like having to do stopping or hearing that like rubbing sound, that can always be that. But we could do like a whole evening of just disc brakes. But I will go over the basic, super basic. So maybe your bike has disc brakes and you're feeling like, oh, they're not gripping a whole lot, or they're rubbing or whatever. Or somebody comes to you and they're like, oh, I want to like figure out what's happening with my brakes. First thing I do again, if you have cables, I check the housing, I check the cable. A lot of issues on your bike can just be from liquid in the cable, a little bit of rust, whatever. If you're like, that is
Yeah.
not a fun ride.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I would do in this situation where they're moving like that is I would actually undo the wheel. Can I undo the wheel?
Oh, yeah.
And I would actually just make sure, first of all, that it's sitting properly. So with a quick release like this, I just kind of shove my knee up, make sure that it's in the dropout of the frame all the way up, and then I tighten it again. And that didn't solve the issue. And then I would undo the brake with this. So a V-brake you can undo usually by holding, I call this the middle, and pushing in. And it should release it like that. And then I go back to the wheel and I spin it. And first I see, is my wheel going in a straight line? Because if your wheel was wonky to one side or the other, it's gonna roll, right? But I don't think that the issue is. So then I would go back to the ABC quick check sort of thing, and I would go from the front, I would look, I would touch the cable, I'd figure out first of all which one it is, so it's just one. And I would look and see if I see anything visible. I don't see anything visible. I would check, so inside of these, there's a little tiny spring. So I would see, and sometimes if the springs are like, yo, I'm done, like having like vitality for like just a nap, they kind of stop and pull back. And
Issue in this case.
so let's see, so when I push this, it should spring back. Look at that. Anybody want to try pushing this one? Push it pretty deep. It's springing back. But something. So then what I like to do is I do a more in-depth check of the cable. So you can kind of, if you look here, and this works for this kind of frame, but you can also do it by like unhooking here or whatever. Oh, I think I see something, but I'm not going to do it yet. So then I'm going to check the cable and the housing. So the black stuff that goes over the cable is called housing. So sometimes when you run into gear issues or brake issues, there's corrosion, there's dirt, there's fraying of the cable happening inside of this. So I like to just pop it out, and then I pull the cable and see, does it move smoothly? Is there friction at all? If there's any friction,
Get into bicycle maintenance.
I got into bike maintenance through the Katimavik program. It was a 9-month youth volunteer program where you would live in 3 different places around Canada and have a full-time kind of job placement. And one of my placements was in Vancouver at a place called Our Community Bikes as part of their pedal program. And that was in 2008. And I've been hooked on bike maintenance ever since.
What would you do if your chain fell off your bike?
If my chain fell off my bike while I was riding it, I would get off my bike and I would kneel down and I would look at everything in my drivetrain to see if anything was bent, if the cable came loose, if the chain had, a bent link on it or anything like that. And I'd check my limit screws on my derailleur, on the front derailleur especially, if it fell off at the front. And then I would set the chain back on and into the ring where it had fallen off. And if I saw any issues with any of those things, I would address them. And if not, sometimes a chain can just get bumped off and I would keep riding.
How many bikes do you have?
I have 2. One that I ride all the time and one that I really need to fix.
Do you check your bicycle before you ride it?
I do. I check my bike every time before I ride. I do the ABC Quick Check, which stands for air. Does it have enough air in the tires? B, which is brakes. And C, chain and cable. So is everything attached? Is my chain oiled? And then The quick part of quick check stands for the quick release skewers. So making sure that my wheels, which attach with the quick release skewers, are nice and tight on the frame.
Where do you like to bike ride?
I love riding on the spur line, on the iron horse, at the hydro cut, and anywhere with friends.
Well, thank you for your time, Fern.
Thank you also. Happy riding.
Thank you.